Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Rating Men I've Dated with Charles Burns. I am your host, Charles Burns. This is the only show on the internet where I rate my previous dating partners and let you know if you should date them too. This week we have an exciting episode because I might cry this time. I've been trying to make this a long time, but I keep bawling or just rambling. So I think I can do it this time. I think I can make it through. This is my most recent relationship. It ended about 4 months ago. Broke my heart. It is the worst ending to a relationship I've ever had. This week we're rating the Swiss-French Heartbreaker. I met this person in 2020. I was homeless, but I was very confident. And then I went on a date with this Swiss-French Heartbreaker, and oh my God, it was the best first date of my life. Like, I just sat down and it was just immediately like we were flowing in conversation. He was so cute. He had round glasses, that's just always great to have, I feel like. And it was just the best first date I think I've probably ever been on. I remember I was like, touch his arm so he knows you like him. I was thinking that. And so I did. I touched his arm so he knew. And yeah, we had our first kiss that night, so I knew he liked me. And we just started dating. Yeah. And it was like magic. Like, I just never had a first date that good. I was like, wow, dating can be like this. Like, this is exciting. Like, this is an exciting person. So that's how we met. I will rate the seriousness of our relationship as, I don't know, I met his entire family. He took me to Europe to meet his family. We had keys to each other's houses. He said, I love you all the time. So we were key holders. That's how serious it was. We were key holders. How serious was it? Serious enough to have each other's keys. All right, we're going to rate the Swiss-French Heartbreaker just like we rated all the other guys on the next 7 things. We're going to rate him on lover points, romance points, handsomeness points, helpfulness points, stability points, faithfulness points, and ending points. That's how it ended, which this was the worst ending of any relationship I've ever had. So let's get into it. Remember, I might cry. If I cry, I've given you fair warning. I don't want to cry, but don't know if I can make it through without doing it. As far as lover goes, he was my most recent lover, and I was with him for 1.5 years, so I will give him a 9.1. Yeah, he was excellent, and I highly recommend getting a French-speaking lover if you ever can at some point in your life. They have a reputation for a reason. It was more romantic than average. It was one of my most romantic relationships. Every time he saw me, he was telling me how beautiful he thought I was. We were always giving each other little gifts, like little shirts or little books or stuff. It was super nice, and he always was affirming me when I was around him. I was always affirming him. We've always called each other baby. We always said, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so handsome. And it's just nice to be around. It's just nice. So for romance, I'll give it a 7.5. As far as handsomeness goes, for me, I just could eat him up. He was so gorgeous. He was adorable. He was the cute. He was, every time I was around him, I was going crazy. He was the most, just like, oh my, he just was salivatingly gorgeous to me. Like, I liked the way he did his hair. I liked the way he wore his clothes. I liked the kind of clothes he wore. I liked the way he presented himself. I liked the shape of his head. I liked the glasses he chose. Yeah, I loved the way he smelled. I loved the way he dressed. I loved the way he presented himself. The way he presented himself I liked, and then also just, without any of that, I also just liked what was there. And I was, oh yes, he was so handsome. He smelled so good. I was insanely attracted to him. So I will give him a 9.1 on handsomeness points. Yes. To me, just the cutest, most handsome person. Yeah, every time I was around him, I was like, I can't this person kisses me. It was really nice. As far as helpfulness goes, it's a little bit tinted by the end for me of how it ended. I got really sick, and it turns out that I had been ectopically pregnant, and I had to have all these complications happened. And he said he would help, and then he didn't. In fact, while I had to have multiple procedures, he went on a vacation. And I had to like keep going to the ER, and he just was totally unavailable. He just like he abandoned me while I was pregnant. So that plus some other things, he became very untrustworthy. But we'd kind of help like halfway. He was trying to be helpful, and it's not like he wasn't, but his intentions couldn't meet up with reality. Like his intentions of being helpful weren't actually being helpful in the terms of the reality of my life. What he was doing wasn't always as helpful as he thought. I think about, like, I know he was never intending to not be helpful, but because he didn't know enough, it ended up sometimes being like the opposite of helpful. So I will give him a 1.3 on helpfulness. As far as stability goes, like I look back on it now, and I think one of the reasons he liked me in the beginning was because I was very unstable and I was kind of adventurous, right? And I was like hopping from place to place trying to like survive in a pandemic, and he didn't want to be stable. Like we talked about it earlier on, like he kind of wanted to adventure. He wanted to keep just like moving around. And that is fun. I would love to do it. I just have to be very safe when I do it, you know, and it's a lot to think about. So he wasn't stable, but it's because he didn't want to be. And he doesn't have to worry about ever being homeless. He has multiple houses all over the world he can stay at. So he was a 3 when it comes to stability. I'll give him a 3 on that. And that was, again, because he chose to not be stable. He wasn't faithful. As you know, I don't think faithfulness is just not cheating. I think faithfulness is telling the truth and making sure, you know, people can trust each other. And he stopped telling me the truth. He would tell me that he was going to go meet a friend for a drink, and then him and that friend would go to like a party, like a costume party, and then he wouldn't tell me. But it became hostile. Like he started telling me that his friends didn't think I was making him happy, or and so then when I was with his friends I was nervous, and then sometimes he'd be with his friends and then they would tell me times that he was secretly hanging out with them and lying to me about it. So it kind of be like I can't say he was faithful because of all these things that was happening near the end. So I'll give him a 2.7 on faithfulness. Like I kind of felt sometimes like a prop or an accessory. Oh, that's so sad. Because I really loved him and he kept telling me he loved me too, but I don't know if he did. As far as ending goes, I got ectopically pregnant and got incredibly sick. There were complications, and he was nowhere to be found. He told me that at one point he told me he didn't believe me. At one point he told me he couldn't forgive me. I've never had anyone be meaner to me. He said he was my lover, and then it just broke, and he gone, and he left me in a really bad spot. So I will say it was a -9 on that ending, and it still hurts me. Still hurts me physically. See, I told you I was gonna cry. Yeah, ending is a -9. All right. We're going to tally up all the scores. We're going to tally up the lover points, the romance points, the handsomeness points, the helpfulness points, the stability points, the faithfulness, and the ending points. And we're going to come up with a grand total of 23.7. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Swiss French Heartbreaker. Well, I only cried one time. Join me next time when I rate another dude, I rate another guy. I'll let you know if you should date him too. Boom, 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 boom. Let him know if you should date him too. That one hurt. That one hurt. Join me next time when I rate someone who didn't quite destroy me as much. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more heartbreak.